side in August. The latest setback, a 1-0 home defeat to Paraguay. Lionel Messi missed that game through injury, but he's back. Three World Cup qualifiers with him in the team, 3 wins. Without him, 1 win in 7. There's no place in the starting 11 for Sergio Aguero. There's a conservative, pragmatic look about the midfield, with the extra physicality of Enzo Perez preferred to that of Ever Banega. And along with Javier Mascherano and Lucas Biglia, that trio will be seeking to stop the supply line to Brazil's in-form strikers. Well, Brazil against Argentina is a matchup that's probably unrivaled in world football, and when they're playing for World Cup points, it just makes it extra special. Pressure on these Argentina players, huge amount on the shoulders of Messi, who so often has lifted them to major finals, but 1993 since, amazingly, Argentina won a major trophy. Just before we get close to kick-off, we're going to have a moment's reflection. Both sets of players standing in honour of Carlos Alberto, the World Cup winning captain of that fabulous Brazil team in Mexico 1970 that won the Jules Rimet Trophy. Well, we're a long way to Russia 2018. A lot of work to do between now and then, but this is a massive game. If Brazil can avoid defeat here, they'll keep their hopes of qualifying for yet another World Cup finals. They have never failed to get to a World Cup. Brazil, the last time Argentina failed to get there was back in 1970. But if they slip up tonight, Argentina, their next game is at home to Colombia. That won't be easy. And Argentina's hopes being in Russia in 2018 will be under real threat. So off we go then. An early touch for Di Maria. And now Mas, who's been preferred to Marcos Rojo in that left-back position. Brazil being captained by Dani Alves. Tite, the coach, just like he did in his club days in charge of Corinthians, changes his captain from game to game. Renato Augusto was the captain last time I did Brazil. Miranda has also worn the armband, but Dani Alves gets it this evening. Here's Marcelo. Inevitably, Tite, the Brazil coach, was asked in his press conference yesterday, what plan have you got to stop Messi? He said, I've got several plans, but I'm not telling you. No surprise that cards were being kept firmly close to chest. A lot of importance on the holding midfield presence of Fernandinho. He'll be looking for support from Paulinho and Renato Augusto either side of him to make sure that Messi doesn't dictate proceedings. Here's Di Maria. Paulinho. It's Gabriel Jesus looking for the run of Paulinho, who just couldn't gather in the pass. This, incidentally, is the first time that Leo Messi and Neymar have been against one another in a competitive international. A couple of friendlies, and they've been wearing their respective national colours, but this, the first time competitively. So much the world's eyes on those two. They actually flew to South America in Neymar's private jet. The three Barcelona players, Messi along with Mascherano joining their teammate out here. Plenty of hugs and handshakes going on in the tunnel pre-match. But rest assured that they are sworn enemies once the whistle goes. This is potentially a really pivotal match on the way to the World Cup finals. Here's Messi, tries to dance his way past the challenge, and there was obstruction by Fernandinho. Lovely little touch from Messi, and he was prevented from getting closer to that Brazil penalty area. Might just be in range here. Rather uneasy atmosphere around the Mineirão Stadium as Messi surveys the scene. Will need something special to beat Alisson from here. Tries to go underneath that Brazil wall. It was all rather tame. Zabaleta, excellent crossing position here for Pablo Zabaleta. It's not the best. Picked up here by Di Maria. Mascherano. Biglia. Mascherano continues to play all of his international football as a central midfield player. Continues to be used exclusively as a centre-back by his club Barcelona. Zabaleta. Neymar skips past the first challenge. Renato Augusto leaves this for Dani Alves. Poor ball in from the Brazil right back. Messi taking a forearm there from Fernandinho. The referee doesn't like it. Yellow card. I don't think we'll be short of those tonight. Fernandinho sees the wrong side of the referee. Brazil trying to claim that there was no malice in it. The referee instantly reached for his pocket. The sooner Fernandinho made contact there with Messi, seemed to catch him more around the jaw. Looking at that again though, maybe across the cheekbone. No lasting damage for Messi, but certainly a yellow card that Fernandinho wouldn't want at this early stage of the match. Brazil, of course, returning to the stadium, which was the site of their humiliating 7-1 defeat to Germany in the World Cup semi-final of 2014. Some ghosts to be exercised from that particular occasion. And it's fair to say that the Brazil fans in the south are not as forgiving as those in the north. And Brazil, since that World Cup debacle, have tended to play their international matches in the north, where their receptions are usually a good deal friendlier in places like Belo Horizonte. Brazil fans expecting a good performance. They come into this in tremendous form under the coach Tite. Bowser's Argentina, and he knows that there cannot be the mistakes that have clouded their recent performances. Alves. Marquinhos. Dab round the corner there from to Augusto. It's back in possession though of Argentina. It was a late challenge by Paulinho, and the referee spotted both of those. Perez eventually goes to ground. Interesting selection, Enzo Perez, who started his career as a right-sided midfield player, plays ostensibly now as a central midfielder, but in Bowser's tactical lineup tonight, being used in a right-sided role, will be asked to tuck in on occasions. Foul by Zabaleta. Foul this time by his Barcelona teammate, Mascherano. Unfortunate there, I think he just slipped before the contact came, but it was a foul. Here's Otamendi. Marquinhos. Fernandinho finding Alves. Fernandinho again. Now Marcelo. Cleared easily by Zabaleta. Here's Mascherano. Almost 10 minutes gone, neither goalkeeper threatened as yet. It's been by and large a midfield contest up to now. Higuain. Use of the hand there, I think, from Gonzalo Higuain. Plays his football these days with Juventus. It's fair to say that the Argentina supporters are somewhat unhappy that Aguero isn't starting ahead of Higuain. Fair to say that Aguero's not been in great form in recent World Cup qualifiers for Argentina. Missed a penalty in the last one. 1-0 surprise home defeat to Paraguay. I thought Argentina's performance on that night was lifted by Paulo Dybala of Juventus, who came off the bench in that game. I fancy he would have started here in the Juventus striker is a growing presence in the Argentina ranks. No less a person than Carlo Ancelotti says that Neymar and Dybala are the heirs to the thrones of Messi and Ronaldo. Once they are past their best and ready to hang up their boots, he feels it will be Neymar and Dybala who will be the two star names in the world game. Neymar's won the free kick. I've no doubt that Neymar will be winning the Ballon d'Or in the next 2-3 seasons. This is Funes Mori. Zabaleta. They've had a good look at one another now. Plenty of respect, of course. Messi's raking pass, inch perfect here for Di Maria, supporting behind from Mas. Mascherano. Otamendi. Now Zabaleta. Manchester City connection there. Otamendi and Zabaleta will be joined in January by Brazil's number 9 tonight, Gabriel Jesus. Manchester City have already signed him some time ago with his Brazil Palmeiras until January. And what a player Manchester City have got in the 19-year-old. Only going to get better, and he's already very, very, very good. And he's taken a sore one there. Referee not taking any action other than to give the free kick against Mascherano. Four senior caps for Gabriel Jesus, 4 goals. Marquinhos. The opening to this game has been littered with fouls. It's not helping the match in any shape or form. Neither side able to get a rhythm. Renato Augusto. Alves. Coutinho. Crowd appealing for a handball, not the players in yellow. The referee saw nothing wrong there. Offside against Paulinho. He's very surprised to be back in the fold. He was ignored by Dunga in his second spell. Paulinho went out to play in China, where he still operates for Guangzhou Evergrande. Got his head down, worked hard. The fact that Tite was once his coach at Corinthians has helped him enormously to get back into the international setup. Higuain trying to find a way past Miranda. It's calm, assured defending from Miranda. Never that long in the end. Good press from Argentina. Given away by Funes Mori. There's Renato Augusto. Neymar. All a bit narrow. Width provided here by Dani Alves. Excellent cross. Didn't quite. Messi. First chance to really run at Fernandinho. He fouls him. Messi's asking for another yellow card. I'm not sure that was worthy of a yellow. Yes, it was a foul. A bit ambitious, I think, from Messi. Referee turns away Messi's hopes of a second yellow there for Fernandinho. Neymar. Yet another foul. Biglia, the offender this time. Paulinho. Marcelo. Good one here from Gusto. Green for the cross, but it was a disappointing one. Picked up here by Angel Di Maria. And that was pretty blatant. Higuain would be expecting a card here, perhaps, for the challenge from Marquinhos. Asks in vain. He was a little bit fortunate there, Marquinhos, to get away with that. Messi. Shifts it wide here for Enzo Perez. Got a sight of goal here. Doesn't take on the shot. It's got the return though. Made his move too late to get the shot off, and Miranda was on top of him very quickly. Perez walks away with a bit of a hand injury there, but back come Argentina once more. It's a reasonable start for Bauza. His side have not been under pressure. They've certainly been physical. Here's Messi. Otamendi. Zabaleta back with Otamendi. Mascherano. Too long for Di Maria. Still awaiting our first chance of the match. Argentina have struggled for goals in this World Cup qualifying campaign. They've only managed 11 in their 10 matches, as opposed to Brazil's 23. From Neymar. Pass finds Dani Alves. Coutinho. He's been in the form of his life for Liverpool this season. Marcelo. Corner Brazil. Liverpool's teammates of Coutinho, by the way, they think he's the best player in the Premier League. And certainly he's been an eye-catching form this season. Neymar will get across to take this corner. Some more work to do for the Argentina defence. Back in by Renato Augusto. And his shot doesn't remotely trouble Sergio Romero. Had to take it quickly after the initial. Another of the Brazil players who plays in China, Renato Augusto. With the Beijing Guan club. Neymar's foul on Messi. Funes Mori. Comilla. The ball finds Messi. Support arriving. A shot is a good one. Fine save by Alisson. That was on target from Lucas Biglia. Smacks his hands in frustration. He doesn't score here. It's an elastic stop from Alisson. The goal there showed a perfect angle to show what a good save it was. It was a good height, and he still had to be at full stretch to keep it out. First time with a little over the opening quarter of the game gone. First time exercise. Marcelo. Marquinhos. Being preferred to his more experienced Paris Saint-Germain teammate, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva. He spent over a year out of the Brazil international setup, but is on the bench. For the last qualifying, has retained his place, but not a starter. Thiago Silva, no David Luiz, chosen by the coach Tite. Fernandinho might have lost his place in the side if Casemiro of Real Madrid had been fit. Ball from that's why his Liverpool teammates think he's the best player in the Premier League, because that was a world class. One thing on his mind once he got possession, and then wow, what a hit! Absolutely no chance for Sergio Aguero, grasping at thin air. Brazil 1, Argentina 0. Magic from the man they call the magician, Coutinho. Well, they were talking about the two number 10s, weren't they? And I was saying at the outset of this broadcast that he's developing into the 10, Coutinho, that Brazil haven't had. That player who can influence in those central areas. Neymar likes to work off the left. Gabriel Jesus is developing into that classic number 9, the 19-year-old. Coutinho has that license to roam. And when he roams to good effect, no wonder Tite is raving about him. And that was sensational. Been a disjointed match up until that classic moment. The blue touch paper has been well and truly lit by Coutinho. Argentina throw. Funes Mori. He's going to have a go from range. Alisson, although it was not on target, just making sure that he did have all his angles covered. Marcelo. Free kick. A foul on Paulinho. Dani Alves. Coutinho. Marcelo. Alves. Searching ball, tries to find Neymar. Just a reminder, the start of round 11, Brazil sat at the top of the South American World Cup standings with 21 points from their 10 matches. They, incidentally, before Tite took over, were 6th, where Argentina are currently situated. But Tite's overseen 4 successive World Cup qualifying wins to take Brazil from 6th to top. Bowser will be looking to follow suit, but here's Messi to get on the end of that pass from Mascherano, not quite. Fernandinho gets the free kick.